first I'm going to be talking about the Arizona audit. Now, this came out last Friday, and there was leaks and stuff that were happening for months up until last Friday when the full audit came out. Now, of course, the leftists out there are maintaining that it proved that Joe Biden, he got more votes. In fact, he did end up with 90 more votes, which really makes absolutely no difference because thousands upon thousands of the votes shouldn't have been counted in the first place. Now, they're not focusing on that. So this is from RSBN. They put together a nice article that sums it up perfectly. The Arizona audit reveals overwhelming number of voting irregularities. Calls to decertify Arizona's 2020 presidential election results have intensified after the forensic audit revealed damning voting discrepancies in Maricopa County. Results of the months-long probe were formally announced on Friday, uncovered many inconsistencies, including duplicate ballots, out-of-state ballots, and evidence of documents that were purged a day before the audit began. The Arizona audit results are damning, President Donald Trump's spokeswoman, Liz Harrington, wrote on Twitter following the Arizona audit public hearing. And she actually is just reiterating these key findings, which I'm going to read to you now. 17,322 duplicates of early voting ballots that went unreported in Maricopa County, of which 25% of duplicates arrived in between Election Day and days after. Not just days after, a week later, between November 4th and November 9th. That's right. Over to November 9th, they were still coming in, these duplicate ballots. Duplicate ballots had incorrect or missing serial numbers, and many contained already used serial numbers. More duplicate ballots than original ballots were found. More than 9,000 mail-in voters returned more ballots than what was initially sent. 397 mail-in ballots were returned with no evidence of them being sent out. More than 20,000 voters voted via mail-in ballots despite moving to a different location. 2,383 voters voted in person despite no longer living in Maricopa County. About 2,081 out-of-state voters were sent a presidential-only ballot. Roughly 5,047 voters voted in multiple counties. 393 of the voters voted with incomplete names. 198 individuals voted despite registering to vote after the deadline. Roughly 282 potentially deceased individuals voted in the election. Now, this is insane. You know, I've had leftists come up to me and said, well, you weren't living there, but that's not true. My registered address at the time was in Arizona. And I, in fact, officially moved after I voted, after Election Day. In fact, that was part of the reason I was going there, to officially move and move to the West Coast or the East Coast over to Maryland. Now I don't live there anymore, so I'll get to that at another time, but I was registered to vote, and I only voted in one place, and I went in to a voting booth and voted in person. I also was able to check online to make sure that my vote counted, which in fact it did. The Arizona 2020 presidential election audit results exposed thousands of voters' discrepancies regarding duplicate ballots, chain of custody issues, failure to preserve data files, cybersecurity weaknesses, and ballot envelopes sent without signatures. That's right. They were connected to the internet, and they proved it on the audit. There was plenty of ballots that they showed in the Senate hearing on Friday with no signatures at all. Zero. Whose ballots were they? There was absolutely no signatures. What's there to even verify? Craziness. The audit was conducted by an independent consulting firm based out of Florida called Cyber Ninja as a result of Arizona's GOP-led state legislature, which demanded it in the pursuit of election integrity. And you know what? I say to them, thank you, because we deserve election integrity. If 45% of the population of Arizona, this is what I believe the numbers were, think that the election was a sham, that it was cheated, then they should have transparency and should have election integrity proven to everyone. To everyone. And this is what I don't understand. These people on the left, they're like, oh, you know what, you don't want it. You just want it. You just do it because you can't believe that Biden actually won. It's like, if you really think Biden won, wouldn't you want them to have an audit to just slam it home and prove it for good? I mean, look at the way that they're treating it now. Biden got 90 more votes. 90 more votes. That's what they're saying. He won with even more votes. It's like 90 votes is such an insignificant number compared to the tens of thousands of discrepancies of ballots that shouldn't have been counted in the first place. Anyway, this is what we have now. Arizona Attorney General's office directs Maricopa County to preserve election evidence for investigation. That's right. The Attorney General has decided to investigate. Why? Because the audit actually showed enough discrepancies that they need to investigate it and make sure that who won Arizona really did win Arizona. And good. This is what we want. There should be an investigation. From all the things that I've seen, they deleted evidence the day before the audit began. What did they even delete? What was deleted? As far as I know and understand, you're supposed to keep all evidence pertaining to an election for at least 2 years. 2 years. What happened? Why were they deleting stuff in March, 4 or 5 months after the election? Why would they do that? It doesn't make any sense, other than they were trying to hide something, right? There's no other explanation for it. Anyway, Assistant Attorney General Jennifer Wright on Tuesday sent a notice to Maricopa County placing a litigation hold on all evidence and materials relating to the county's 2020 election results for investigation, keeping Attorney General Mark Brnovich vow to act on information unveiled on the audit. Wright announced the Elections Integrity Unit, of the Arizona Attorney General's office has begun its review of the report and materials provided by the Arizona Senate. And here he is here talking about exactly that. Based on the findings of the Arizona election audit, the Attorney General's office has found it necessary to obtain all documents, files, and related information during the course of review that is potentially relevant to the 2020 general election that are in the county's possession. In preparation for an investigation, the letter states it serves as notice to Maricopa County that a litigation hold should be in effect, applying to all physical or digital information, files, equipment, ballots, records, footage, building access records, and anything else relating to the election. All Maricopa County employees, contractors, subcontractors, vendors, and assigns who were directly or indirectly involved in any aspect of managing the 2020 election are required to comply with the Attorney General's office request. The notice to Maricopa County comes just days after Brnovich said he was prepared to take all necessary actions supported by the evidence, where he has legal authority. I will take all necessary actions that are supported by the evidence and where I have legal authority, Brnovich wrote on a Twitter Friday night after the audit hearing. Arizonans deserve to have their votes accurately counted and protected. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Arizona's audit of Maricopa County's 2.1 million ballots cast in the 2020 election discovered tens of thousands of discrepancies. And that actually is a link to what I just went over prior to this. That must be addressed in order to ensure election integrity. Yes, this is what we need. I want this across the entire country. Texas is doing it. I mean, this is exactly how I feel. Good. Oh, Trump won Texas? I don't care. I want it audited. I want the entire thing audited. I want to know for certain if they're weaseling into Texas and we find out about it, we can lock it down. Look at Florida. They messed up royally in 2000. I was talking to my cousin about it. He's like, yeah, he lives in Florida, by the way. He said, yeah, they messed up royally in 2000 and got their act together. Florida was called like that because they had it all locked down. They know it. Now we have Gavin Newsom making it legal to just mail in ballots as the new norm. That's insane. Insane. The whole argument for mail-in ballots is null and void because we have absentee voting. It doesn't make any sense. The only reason it would make sense is for them to abuse the system, which they clearly have done in Maricopa County. I want to know where else. And so should you.